Welcome back to TechKidFX for another price prediction update, and in this video I'll be giving you a price prediction update on Polygon Matic, whose current price stands at the $0.9641 mark, and here on TradingView the market is up by 10.38%. This is a day that we have seen a massive breakout to the upper side, and in this video I want to give you the key scenarios that I expect to play out basing my analysis on the Elliot wave structures, the Fibonacci's, the key areas of support and resistances, and also draw out any key chart patterns that you have information on this chart. And I'll kickstart the video by giving a brief of what has been happening on this chart. Polygon Matic from the all-time high has been seeing lower prices in this massive ABC corrective movement, which has now taken us back to around the $0.32 mark. And after seeing that low, I believe that ABC corrective movement has done the minimum that we expected it to do, and very soon we are going to see a very nice bounce to the upper side, obeying this Elliot wave structure, taking us back to an all-time high in the next bull market. And before we get to an all-time high, we first need to see that first wave to the upper side in this Elliot wave structure, and I believe that is what is playing out here on the Polygon Matic chart. And if I jump to the 4-hour chart for further analysis, here on the 4-hour chart you can see I have this Elliot wave structure in yellow, which is a fractal wave within that first wave to the upper side, where I believe we're in the formation of that fifth wave to the upper side to complete that higher Elliot wave count 1. And if I get a little bit into the details of this Elliot wave structure so that I can also give you the key scenarios that I expect to play out on this chart, after making our low down there, we saw a very nice bounce to the upper side, making the high for that first wave. After seeing the high for that first wave, we retraced in the formation of a wave 2, continued pushing high in the formation of a wave 3, and after the high of the wave 3 was in at around the $1.05 mark, we saw a very nice retracement over here in the formation of a fourth wave. And using the Fibonacci's, I can sketch out a minimum target area to the lower side in the formation of that wave 4 by connecting the Fibonacci's from the low of that second wave to the high of that wave 3. And that gives me a minimum retracement area between the fib level 0.382 and the fib level 0.618, and I can mark that target area here on the charts like that. And you can see we have retraced into that target area in the formation of this fourth wave to the lower side in this movement right here, making our low at around the $0.69 mark. And because a fourth wave is a corrective wave, I also expected to see an ABC corrective movement, and we are seeing such a structure right here, having that as the wave A, then a wave B making a peak at around the $0.94 mark. Then we continued pushing low in the formation of a wave C, making our low at around the $0.69 mark. And after making that low in the formation of a fourth wave, the next movement that we expected over here is the formation of this wave 5 to the upper side, so that it can complete that higher Elliot wave count 1 to the upper side. And because a wave 5 to the upper side is an impulsive wave, we also expect to see fractal waves in formation within that fifth wave to the upper side, and that is a structure that we are seeing right here. And before I get to the key scenarios that I expect to play out basing on that Elliot wave structure to the upper side, it's good that I show you a key chart pattern that was in formation right here, which is a double top. And this is a chart pattern that normally breaks to the lower side, and we had that as the first top, then saw the formation of the neckline, then saw the formation of the second top, then we saw these very nice breakdown to the lower side, and we had our target area back to around the $0.83 mark. And that target area, I was basing it on the trend based Fibonacci, and this is a chart pattern that normally breaks to the lower side, having the target area of that breakout as the height between the tops and the neckline. So using a trend line, we can get that height and then place it down here to give us a minimum target area back to around the $0.83 mark. And you can see yesterday we had a very nice pullback to the lower side back to around the $0.8394 mark. And at that point, once we fully maximized the target area of that double top to the lower side, we are seeing a massive pump to the upper side, even seeing the formation of engulfing candlesticks over here. This is a very impulsive movement here on the 4-hour chart, and right now we have made a high at around the $0.98 mark. And getting back to the key scenarios that I expect to play out basing it on the Elliot wave structures, in my previous videos, this movement to the upper side, I was terming it as an Elliot wave structure, and if I have it back over here on the charts, we can have this as the first wave to the upper side, then so a retracement to the lower side in the formation of a wave 2, then this impulsive movement right here, I was terming it as a wave 3 to the upper side, then the movement that we have right here, I was terming it as our Elliot wave count 4, then expect a movement to the upper side in the formation of a wave 5 to complete that higher Elliot wave count 1, which is a fractal wave within that first first wave to the upper side, but I think I have to change scenarios over here in the formation of this wave 3, because using the trend based Fibonacci, connecting it from the low of that first wave down there to the high of that wave 1, then dragging the fibs to the low of the second wave, my minimum target area to the upper side in the formation of that wave 3 was at around the fib level 1.618, and that is at around the $0.9916 mark. And you can see within this high that I had initially here on the charts at around the $0.96 mark, that had not fully maximized the target area that I have drawn out using the trend based Fibonacci, meaning there were chances that the high was still not in, and that is what I think is playing out. I think the high was not yet in, and whatever we are seeing over here in the formation of this wave 4, this was not a wave 4. And you can see even in this movement to the lower side in the formation of this wave 4, I had a invalidation point at around the $0.8513 mark, and you can see we retraced into that target area, that is that invalidation point, by retracing back to the high of this first wave. And having done so, that has invalidated my Elliot wave structure here on the charts, and I have to view this movement to the upper side as something else. So now I want to change my scenarios to having the new high that we have over here as the high for that wave 3, and maybe we still have potential for us to continue pushing higher and maybe get back to around the $1 mark, because we have also managed to break above a key area of resistance at around the $0.95 mark. And if I jump to the 1 hour chart to see whether we have seen a retest of that key area of resistance, you can see even here on the 1 hour chart we have not seen a retest, so there is a possibility of Polygon Matic giving us a retest of that key area of resistance at around the $0.95 mark before we continue pushing higher to fully maximize the target area to the upper side in the formation of that wave 3. And once that happens, then we can sketch out a minimum target area to the lower side in the formation of this wave 4, then continue pushing higher in a wave 5 to complete that higher Elliot wave count 1 to the upper side. So those are the key scenarios that I expect over here on the Polygon Matic chart. See a retest of that key area of resistance, and then fully maximize the formation of a third wave within that target area at the fib level 1.618, then expect a wave 4, and then continue pushing higher in a wave 5 to the upper side. Also sketching out a minimum target area to the upper side in the formation of this higher Elliot wave count 1 using the trend based Fibonacci, connecting it from the low of that first wave to the high of that wave 1, then dragging the fibs to the high of that wave 3. That gives me a minimum target area to the upper side at the fib level 0.618, and that is at around the $1.26 mark. So let's be patient and see how that plays out. Also taking a look at the indicators here on the 4 RSI, we are trading at around the 70 mark, meaning we have a bit of room for us to support any movement to the upper side before we get into the oversold region or into the overbought region. So I'm expecting a bit of a retracement here on the RSI, and that will also support that retest of that key area of resistance at around the $0.95 mark. Also taking a look at the MACD, here on the MACD have printed a bullish cross, and that means higher prices are coming our way. So let's be patient and see how that plays out, and I'll keep you updated.